I kind of tell it as fuel, as incentive. You know, not to sit here and brag, but I mean, the money that we make, I mean, our salary is $98,000. That's what we make a year. That doesn't include transcripts, any of that stuff. You know, and you know, I just got word that, you know, we're getting a cost of living raise.
Oh, our birthday is gonna go up to
Yeah.
at least 6 figures.
So we should be right at 100,000.
Oh,
Yeah. And I don't tell you that to brag, not by any means. I mean, I'm not that kind of person. If you know me, I'm really not. And I've told you guys, you know, before, you know, you want to know what I make, I'll tell you. I don't make it public knowledge, but if you're like, you know what, I mean, what can I expect? If I, when you retire and say I get your court, what can I expect? I'll tell you, you know. I'm proud of it, but it's not public knowledge. But that's on the computer, so you can go and see what we make. That's our base salary. You in the back.
How much more do you make in transcripts?
This year's probably going to be one of my better years. It is my best year, and I probably made another 45,000. So, for people who say, you know what, you know, there's not money to be made out there. Seriously? Seriously. I mean, so I'm not saying that, you know, you're gonna make that coming out, or that you're gonna make that ever. You may not, but you may make $70,000, $80,000 a year. Last time I checked, that's really good money. You know, when I got out, this was back in 90, 92. I mean, I thought, you know, and you have to consider the times too. But I thought back then, you know what, if I can make $35,000 or $40,000 a year, I would be in heaven. Absolute heaven. Well, you multiply that times what I'm making now, you know, and that's how far we've come. That's how far court reporting has come. And it's worth it, guys. That's why I tell you, it's worth it. But we don't get paid what we do because anybody can do it. We do it because it's a profession, because it's a skilled profession. Okay? Only about 1/3 of those who study court reporting complete a program of study. I don't think it's that high, but whatever.
very small one.
Yeah, it's smaller than that. You know, and it's just because of the demand and, you know, what it takes to get out, okay? Although learning to become a court reporter may require a great deal of time, energy, and money, the effort will be worth it in the long run. You tell me. I just told you what I make. You tell me if it's worth it. I'd say so, but maybe you don't think it is. I'd say it is. Should you become a court reporter? And that's just kind of a little exercise or whatever that you guys can do. A lot of these questions I'm not really going to go over. You can kind of go over it in the book, but there's kind of self-explanatory. You know, and I'll go over one of the ones, miscellaneous true or false statements. Court reporting is a job that entails very little stress or pressure. We just went over that, you know. So I'm not going to cover stuff like that again. So, I mean, you guys know, you know, what it takes. So we're going to move on to the next chapter. The reporting profession defined. Okay? So who are court and real-time reporters? Who is the person who sits in the front of the courtroom, usually between the judge and the witness, furiously tapping his or her fingers on a strange-looking keyboard? Who is the person who walks into a crowded room filled with lawyers and potential witnesses and calmly takes control of the situation? Who is the person responsible for having closed captioning appear at the bottom of 1 million of television screens across the nation? Who is the person upon whom the entire justice system depends for the preservation of a true and accurate record? Let us see who are the real-time reporters and court reporters of the world today. Okay? They are diverse. Court and real-time reporters come in a variety of shapes and sizes. You know, it doesn't, you know, and when we were talking about whether, you know, it discriminates, it doesn't. This used to be a male-dominated profession. Male-dominated. And this was back, I think, in the 60s or 70s. It was male-dominated. Now it's female-dominated. I mean, you know, by far. But, I mean, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference whether you're male or female, whether you're Hispanic, black, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all about the dedication that you have. So it doesn't discriminate. You know, that machine doesn't know black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. It just knows, it just sits there. The person doing it is the person that's going to be able to dedicate the time to be able to learn this profession. Okay, so it doesn't know, it doesn't know discrimination. Okay? They have a positive attitude. Usually you will find that court and real-time reporters have an attitude to succeed. Absolutely. Absolutely, that's what it takes. And you'll find that most reporters, just about all of them, if you go to these meetings, pretty much have positive attitudes. They pretty much do. And they're willing to help, you know, whatever. And, you know, and the thing about me, and the reason that I teach, and you say, you know, God, you make the money that you do, why do you need to teach? Guys, I don't do it for the money. Do you truly believe that? You think I need this? I mean, I'm not making fun of, you know, what they pay me. I'm not going to do it for free, but I mean, I'm not doing it for the money, guys. I made a promise to somebody, to a reporter, when I was very young, who helped me, and she helped me get through school, and I said, you know, how can I ever repay you? And she said, help someone in the profession get out. Help someone in the profession get out. And that's what I've tried to do. And, you know, and I've told, you know, Ms. Woodard and, you know, the other people here that I'll stay here as long as the students feel like I'm contributing to something. The day that I don't, I'll walk. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with it. But if I can get one student to get what court reporting is about and get out, then I've done my job. I have. And I feel like I'm getting something out of it. And I still enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with you guys. And to me, that was a promise that I made to her, to the person that helped me get out. You know, was it, you know what, I am going to help somebody get out. Because I believe in this profession. And I believe it is something that we need to strive to make better and keep people coming out, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not doing this forever. I don't want to do it forever. You know, I love what I do. I really do, but I'm not doing it forever. And I have about 10 more years, is what the guy down at the court told me, the guy that deals with the retirement stuff. He said, you have 10 more years. I'll be 55 years old, retire. And he said, Dave, you'll be sitting fat, pH fat. You know, but he said, you're going to be good. You're going to be way good. And that's what I'm working towards, is living the good life. I want to work hard now into something that I believe in, because I want to be there. I want to, but I need to make sure that there's going to be somebody that takes my place. And I want to make sure that you guys are out there, and that, you know, someone is going to take my place. I don't want a recorder to take my place. I don't, because I believe in what we do. Okay? They persevere. Court and real-time reporters have a strong will to persevere and hang in there. Absolutely. You're going to know this when you get to the end of the end of court reporting and you go and take that test. You're going to know exactly what it takes to persevere. Okay? This is not something that, you know, like I told you, that eventually you're going to get it. No. No, it's not. So, yeah, you will have to persevere. They maintain confidentiality. Absolutely. You know, this is stuff that this is stuff that we kind of went through in kind of the other, you know, chapter or whatever, so I'm going to go through it kind of quick. But yeah, you absolutely maintain confidentiality. They are respectful, absolutely. They know how to use tact and diplomacy, absolutely. Tact is the ability to handle a delicate situation. You know, when you're sitting there in a jury trial and they're talking about incest, or they're talking about a child rape or something, and you know, regardless of what you think of that person or whatever, the justice system is set up the way that it is for a reason. You're innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Not guilty until proven innocent. You're innocent till proven guilty. So you have to believe in the system and you know what they do and their jobs. But your job isn't to sit there in judgment of somebody. Your job is to sit there and take down every word that's said, okay? So you glaring at somebody or you making faces or whatever, and the jury sees this, you know, it is not good, because you're supposed to be an unbiased party who sits there and just takes down the record. That's all you do. Now, whether you're thinking in your head, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you know, you wouldn't be human if you didn't. But your job isn't to sit there in judgment of somebody else. Your job is just to take down that record, okay? They possess a sense of loyalty and pride. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, be proud of what you do. Be proud of what you do and the people that you work for and the people that you work with. Be proud of that. You know, and you know that you're the keeper of the record. Be proud of that. And the work that you put out, the transcript that you put out, put pride in that. You know what? Because you sign your name at the end of that little transcript that says, you know what? That's my work. That's my work. And I'm taking pride in what I do, and this is the best that I can do. And not that it may not have a mistake in it. I mean, we're human, guys. We're human. So, you know, every now and then there's going to be a mistake. But you're not going to put out shoddy work, you know, because people are going to see that and they're like, God, not even using the correct grammar or the correct punctuation, or the setup was completely wrong. Or when they put the, you know, the page number of the examination was totally wrong. Didn't even go through and make sure that it was on the right page. Take pride in what you do, okay? They are punctual and efficient. Absolutely. And I told you that's extremely important. People see that. And punctuality is important. It really is. You always want to be punctual and you want to be efficient. Work smarter, not harder, okay? And always appear that you're under control and you have everything under control, okay? You're trustworthy, absolutely. You know, people don't want to, oh man, you know, every time I take a deposition that, you know, something's, you know, they told me that I was going to have it on Monday. Here it is already Thursday, I still don't have that thing. Every time she tells me or he tells me something, you know, you're going to have it on this day, it's always 2 or 3 days later. You know, you don't want to have that reputation. You know, God almighty, I mean, I have to deal with this person again, you know, because they do shoddy work and then, you know, they're always 3 days later than they usually are. Absolutely not. Take pride in your work. They earn their pay. That's exactly what it is. Earn your pay. You in the back.
What's the average time when an attorney is asking you how long will it take you? What's the average time to transcribe for
The lady that I worked for when I first got out had a 1 week turnaround. So if you took something on a Monday, by the next Monday, it absolutely had to be out. And you think, well, that's a week. Well, if you're taking something every day, you take 100 pages Monday, 100 pages Tuesday, 100 pages Wednesday, 100 pages Thursday, 100 pages Friday. You have 500 pages to get out. And you're getting that stuff out like that. Now, if you take a job on Monday and, you know, it's 100 pages and you don't take another job till Wednesday or Thursday, you should be okay. But I wouldn't sit on it knowing that, you know, I'm not on the books again till Thursday to take another deposition. And I'll just kind of sit on this one and whatever. And then all of a sudden it's Thursday and you go take 200 pages worth of testimony, and they say, you know what, I need that testimony by tomorrow. Well, now you put that Monday job behind because you're having to work on this job. So now you're having to work on this job. Well, now you're going to work all weekend trying to get that other job out on Monday because that's the 1 week turnaround. So it's usually about a week to 10 days or whatever, but you know, all depends on who you work for and what their requirements are. You know, and the attorney may say, you know what, we don't go, what's the day, August 2nd? We don't go to trial till July of next year. You know, just get it to me, you know, when you can. A couple of weeks or whatever, 2 or 3 weeks. When, I mean, we don't have anything really going on it or whatever. We just wanted to, and if your, you know, employer's like, well, I mean, you know, you don't really have anything, or you're super busy, you know what, I need to get this job out or whatever. And he said, you know, he can have it in 2 or 3 weeks. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. So it all depends, you know, on who you go to work for, but usually it's about a 1 week turnaround.
So if you were taking a deposition and you wrote for 3 hours and the attorney asked you, how soon can you get this to me, what would you tell me, like the next day?
On 150 pages, I would, you know, it all depends. I mean, if he says, you know, when's the soonest I can get this or whatever? Well, I mean, do y'all go to trial or do y'all have a hearing coming up or whatever? We have a hearing in 2 weeks. Oh, okay. You know what? Give me a week. Give me a week. Always do a little bit more. I would always do that. Give myself a little bit more time. I know maybe it's probably going to take me, if I could sit down and do it, I could probably do it in a day. If I really just sit down and do it, I can get 150 pages done in a day. You know, do it, print it, proofread it, get it done, get it over to the office, blah, 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 whatever, and get it out, shoot it out, you know. But I want to give myself some leeway, so just in case something happens, you always want to have that cushion. You know what I'm talking about? You always want to have that cushion and not say, you know what, you'll have it in the morning. It's 8 o'clock right now. And you just told the guy you're going to have it in the morning with 150 pages to do? Probably not. I mean, unless you're an excellent writer and, you know, you have an excellent scopist or something like that, maybe you can. But why would you push yourself that hard if you know that he doesn't need it for 2 weeks? You see what I'm saying? What does a court and real-time reporter do? What exactly does a court and real-time reporter do? Well, to begin with, we know that he or she takes a record of what is being said and then transcribe it. We all know what, I mean, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. You guys know exactly what a real-time reporter is and what a reporter does. So, you know, if you have any questions about that, call me. You may need to do that self-test again, but capturing the spoken word. In being able to capture the spoken word, a court and real-time reporter must know a system of shorthand writing that he or she can use with confidence and assurance. I mean, we all know that too, guys. I mean, you already know, you know, the theory or whatever, so you know how to do that. Shorthand theory. Most shorthand systems today are what are called real-time ready and computer compatible. And you guys know that. So what you want to do, what they're talking about right there, is you want to be pretty much conflict free. So you don't want to write two things the same. You shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. You know, especially if you're real-time writing. And I tell you, and you may write two things the same. And I've kind of started doing, like back in the day, and don't let anybody tell you this, that you can't get out because you stroke everything out. Not correct. I used to stroke everything out. Everything. I never hardly used briefs. Hardly ever. So if they say, oh man, you've got to use briefs to get out. No, you don't. No, you don't. Do I use them now? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm the brief king now, you know, because it's all about working smarter, not harder. Okay? So the court that I sit in, we hear all the same terms all the time. So why would I not? I'm going to write managing conservatorship every time they say it. You'd wear your hands completely off. Possessory conservatorship every day. No. P star K, M star K. Managing conservator, MK, M star K. Managing conservatorship, M star KS. Because I hear it every day. And that's what I've told you guys about taking tests, or when you get out and you're taking the deposition of Dr. Krzyzewski. You're seriously gonna stroke out Krzyzewski every time you hear it? You're not gonna be in the profession very long, probably. You're gonna wear your hands completely off by stroking everything. You know, so you wanna think of briefs all the time, you know, and you don't have to put it in your main dictionary. That's why in the people that have taken the ECLIPS class, there's a job dictionary. You put it in your job dictionary. No big deal, you know? But it's all about working, you know, smarter, not harder.
I have a quick question about
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
I did that today. The guy's last name was Lett. Lett with a double T.
Okay.
So I put it on my job dictionary. This was
Mhm.
in their literary test. So then I'm transcribing my Q&A, and all the Lett words were coming up as capital L, double T.
Okay.
How do you do it just for one section?
The way that I do it different, like say it is Mr. Lett. Now, if they say Mr. Lett all the time, then you're okay. But what if they say, bless you, bless you. Maybe his name is Mark Lett. And they say, did he let Mark Lett go to the store? So now you're gonna have capital L-E-T-T, Mr. L-E-T-T, go to the store. No. You can global it to where you put Mr. and Let together. So when Mr. Let is together, then it always puts it together as a capital. And it doesn't put the other Let, the L-E-T, together. Or you define Let, L-E-T, with an asterisk. So when you're writing it, you do L-E-T asterisk. I'm telling you, the asterisk has become my best friend because it shortens everything up. So when you write stuff the same, the thing that you hear the most, you want to write it just plain. But the thing that you know, like I do, doing, D-O-G. Well, that's the stroke for dog. Well, I don't hear dog every day. So when I do hear dog, I use it with an asterisk, D-O-G asterisk. But it shortens me up one stroke by doing in one stroke, D-O-G. So it's all about working smarter, not harder. So you want to figure out ways that it's going to make it easier for you. So if you have stuff like that, you know,